Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today, it is all about how to grow and care for the Mexican hens and chicks plant. The Mexican hens and chicks plant is a perennial succulent plant in the Crassulaceae family, native to Mexico. It has been introduced as an ornamental garden plant in other countries. It looks gorgeous when grown in pots or garden planters. This plant forms tight clumps with a distinct rose-like shape like a flower in full bloom. The actual flowers are tiny. They grow from thin stems that extend out from the core of the leaf clumps. The fleshy leaves are green to bluish-green. In contrast, the flowers range from white to pinkish red and bloom during spring and winter. For decades, the white Mexican rose has been popular among houseplant enthusiasts due to its ability to survive in dry conditions with little maintenance. Like most other succulents, they love to grow in subtropical climates, but can survive harsher weather. Mexican hens and chicks plant needs proper lighting for satisfactory growth. Place it in direct sunlight for around 6 hours a day with partial shade the rest of the time. Rock gardens are the perfect fit for these plants. However, you can also choose to plant them in a shallow pot on a deck or patio if you meet the lighting requirements. The watering of a Mexican rose depends on various factors such as the size of the pot, the plant's health condition, and the time of year. However, there are some general rules you need to follow. It is best to water this plant once a week or every other week in autumn, spring, and summer. You may water it once every 2 weeks in winter as they need less water in winter. The pot soil should be completely dry before you start watering it again. Make sure that the pot is well drained. Never overwater the plant because it may cause root rot and kill the plant. White Mexican roses like to grow in subtropical conditions. The optimal temperature range is 50 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Any lower, and you start having problems. This plant will not survive freezing. So if you live in a colder climate with an intense winter, it is best to bring your plant inside during the colder months. Though it can tolerate temperatures as low as 40 degrees Fahrenheit, prolonged exposure is unhealthy. The hen and chicks plant doesn't require high humidity to thrive. It is drought-resistant, which means it can survive in a waterless environment for a much longer period than other houseplants. While it can tolerate wetter climates, it prefers to grow in dry conditions, like other succulents. Fertilizer is not necessary for this plant to grow, but it can help to produce more flowers and lush foliage. If you choose to use fertilizer, make sure you use a standard 1 diluted to quarter strength. Fertilize your plants every 4 weeks during the growing season. There are 2 recommended ways to propagate Echeveria elegans. You can either take leaf cuttings from the plant or divide the offsets or pups that the plant produces. You can also use seeds, but getting to the mature size takes so long that most gardeners do not recommend it. To propagate by offsets, simply pinch and pull offsets, and they should come right off the mother plant. Once the wound has healed, plant in fresh soil and wait for roots to form. To propagate by leaf cuttings, cut off a leaf using a sharp knife. Bury the part that was closest to the roots into the potting soil. It should be moist, not wet. Press the soil down to ensure it stays in place. Wait for the cutting to root itself in the new soil, which may take several weeks. Once regrowth begins to show, you've successfully obtained a new plant. When potting or repotting white Mexican roses, you should use a soil mix specifically for cactus and succulents. This type of soil mix is available at most garden centers. Using a soil mix that drains well is essential, as these plants do not like wet soil. If the plant is growing too large for its current pot, you can repot it into a larger pot. Be sure to use a pot with drainage holes to dry out the plant's soil between watering. Repotting is best done in late spring or early summer when the weather is warm. In winter, these plants go dormant, and there is a high chance the roots lost during repotting won't recover. The Mexican hens and chicks plant is generally quite safe. It is non-toxic to humans, dogs, cats, and horses, though mild stomach upset can occur in pets when any plant is ingested. Aphids and mealybugs are common pests to this plant, often found on the undersides of the leaves. Use insecticidal soaps, neem oil, or rubbing alcohol to get rid of them.